Ben Briley. I'm the founder of Thoughtful Leader, and I'm here to bring you some short, sharp leadership advice. This one is a bit about productivity. Now, I want to talk to you about the urgent important matrix, sometimes called the Eisenhower matrix. And this is a 2x2 grid, which you'll see on the screen here, which has the axis of urgent along the bottom and important along the side here, right? Now, that breaks it up into 4 quadrants. The way you can use this is to identify when things come into your team or your own, to-do list. You can identify whether they're urgent or whether they're important. Now, obviously, something that's urgent needs to be done right now. Something that's not urgent can be done in the future. Something that's important has implications if it's not done, and it really provides value to your team or value to the workplace. So it might be an important piece of work that your team does, a role that it fulfills in the organization. Not important is more about trivial tasks like organizing meetings, doing administrative work. And while they need to be done, they don't add too much value in the scheme of things. So in the quadrants, let's look at the quadrants here. In the top left quadrant, we've got the risk zone, this is what I call when it's urgent and important. The reason I call this the risk zone is because if it's urgent and it's really important, you need to get it done right, but it's urgent, so you don't have that much time to do it. So this is where if you get something wrong, you're running the risk of providing something that's not good. And it's important, so if you get it wrong, the consequences could be big. So this is the risk zone. On the top right is the best one. That is the superstar zone, which I call it, because these things aren't urgent. You don't have to do them today, but they're important, which means you can plan. When you can plan your important work in the future, you will get much, much better results, and you will come out of it looking like a superstar because it's important work, but you've planned it so you have time to do it well and you can improve the quality of the work. So that's the superstar zone. Bottom left, the low value zone. Now this is when things are urgent but not important. Like, oh, I really have to organize this meeting really quickly. Things like that, where it's low value stuff and you have to do it quickly, so it consumes your day and your headspace. And it's not really where leaders should be operating for the most part. Those are the sorts of things where you might delegate to a person that does admin tasks and things like that, so that their role can take care of those tasks, so you don't have to focus your headspace on it. Then on the bottom right is the time wasting zone. These are not important and they're not urgent. So the question is, why are you doing them at all? These sort of tasks are the ones we should try to ditch. We should push back on and say, look, that's not adding any value. It doesn't matter if I do it or not, really. And you'll be surprised how many tasks there are like this that float around in our workplaces. Many people think that, if a team's doing some work, it must be really important, or it's really, critical to the workplace. Nah, not really. There's a lot of cases where a lot of the work we do is just absolute rubbish, and we need to get rid of it because it's not adding enough value. And the low, not important, not urgent tasks are ones where you should look to cut them off. So they're the 4 quadrants. The risk here is, right, top right, superstar zone, important but not urgent. You've got to stop them from getting into the risk zone, which is where they jump over to being urgent and important because you haven't done them yet. So you've got to be careful of that. So you've also got to watch the interactions between the zones, because if something's not urgent and you don't do anything about it, then it will become urgent and then everyone starts panicking. If something's not important and then it becomes important, that's also a problem, because that just means you haven't done it and now it's important to get done. So there's these things to consider as well. Anyway, that is the urgent important matrix. I encourage you to print out a copy of this matrix, put it on a wall at work. When things come into your team, just go, okay, where is this sitting? And see if you can move things into that superstar quadrant, because you'll get better results. All right, thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.